If you're new to this channel, this is where we talk about property investing, share smart investing strategies, and anything property related. So if you haven't already, make sure you hit subscribe, smash that like button. All right, now let's get into today's question. So we've got another question here from Siva. Where would we put $550,000 if we're investing ourselves? So thanks for flicking that question through, Siva. I guess firstly, for me personally, like I wouldn't, when I start looking for property, and this is being completely honest and transparent, I normally will highlight a few markets. So what I mean by that is I don't just go, I'm only buying in this suburb or street, unless I'm buying a house to live in. That's probably the only time I'm going to do that. For me, I'm really, having been through it myself numerous times, and particularly for clients, I'm really prudent on the opportunity cost. So for me, I would normally have a few options open for myself, and it'd probably be coming down to the quality of the property and the location. So for me personally, I think there's a handful of locations out there at the moment that I'd be most interested in. The ones, typically speaking, at that price point, I'm probably most interested in Victoria at the moment, and that price point is going to be shaped by regional Victoria. I think those ones that are larger size regional towns that are well infrastructured, so that's to the north, northeast and west of Victoria, there's some really good regional locations in there. And it's no secret out there that we've been purchasing a lot of properties in the Latrobe region over the last kind of 12 months or so. So again, there's also some locations a little bit more inward of that, without giving it all away, that are really kind of striking me. But I wouldn't necessarily pin it down to one. I would just say that there's a handful of regional locations out there that I'm most interested in Victoria. So I would be having a few options open in that market. And I guess for the benefit of our clients out there, without having people watching and people trying to come in and make things harder for ourselves, I won't give away the exact locations, but regional Victoria would be the highest one of my interest at that point. So if we look at the last 100 purchases, 16 have been between 500 to 550, 13 have been in regional Victoria. So harping on about my point there, majority of them have been in regional Victoria, 2 have been in regional Queensland, and 1 has been in Tasmania. I guess the other question you've got to ask yourself is what kind of investor you are. Do you want to be an early adopter? So that might have been somebody who 12 months ago or 18 months ago, you just entered into the Victorian market, and you came in knowing that you probably weren't going to come out blowing the doors off straight away, but you're going to see some growth in the not too distant future. Or somebody who's coming kind of halfway up the hill. So that might be someone, and it's really hard because I'd say the Victorian market as a whole is kind of still at that early adopter phase, but there are segments of it which are maybe up halfway up the hill. Maybe not even that, but you're coming in. It started to see some growth. It might have moved 5 or 10% already, but if we look out, there's still lots of great opportunities. And I would say a large portion of that Victorian market might sit in that halfway up the hill, but much closer to early adopter. Or you might be wanting to go to somewhere like a steam chaser. So that could be somewhere like Gold Coast or Brisbane, which it's seen, phenomenal growth over the last few years, but still has some great infrastructure projects, population growth, where over the long term, it's going to perform really strongly. It might slow down for the next few years before it does anything of significant note. So it's just really identifying which type of investor you want to be. But for me personally, to your answer there, for Siva, it'd be regional Victoria at that budget would be the one of most interest for myself. But I appreciate you flicking that one through.